All righty, we are live, ready to go.
All right. Michelle, should we call roll?
We'll call roll. Mr. Pahovich,
Here.
Mr. McNulty,
Here.
Ms. Chabelis,
Here.
Mr. Dove, and Mr. Doherty. Hey, Dustin, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, thanks. All right, we have a quorum. I took the language out as far as swearing in the witnesses because it's just the board members this evening.
My audio is very spotty.
Are you guys able to hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So if we want to move on to item number 3, I guess I can touch on that. So when Mark Jewell resigned, we did have, obviously the chair position is now open. I had Adam serve as the interim chair to just wrap up some of the pending applications, but I would like to officially elect a new chair and vice chair for the rest of this year. So I'd ask for the board's consideration on that.
Michelle, I'm getting feedback on our audio.
I am too. You're cutting in and out a little bit.
Dustin, can you go on mute for a second? Is that your line or no?
Can you guys hear me better?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so it might be Dustin. I thought it was his background, but I wasn't sure. Sorry.
I mean, we can all go on mute if you want until we have to say something, but
Okay.
sometimes I forget to unmute myself.
It seems to be working now.
Yep.
Okay.
Right. So if you could repeat what you were saying, Michelle, since
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, so with Mark Jewell resigning from the commission, obviously there's a chair, the chair position's open. I asked Adam to act as interim chair to wrap up the pending applications. Now that's done, I would now ask the board to consider officially electing a new chair and vice chair for the rest of this year. I will say I did speak with Todd Dove. He does not have much of an interest in either chair or vice chair, but he will if no one else wants to.
Yeah, just so this is Adam, obviously. If there's, just for the knowledge of everybody, I mean, I'm perfectly fine and happy to continue as chair if the board's willing. So just thought I would put that out there.
Fantastic. I was going to ask that, Adam.
Thanks, Dan.
Perfect. Can I nominate Adam to serve as our chair of our zoning commission?
You can make a motion if you want.
All right, Adam, are you good with that?
I'm good with it.
All right, then I move to have Adam, I'm going to slaughter your last name, Pilich, be our chair of our zoning commission.
I second.
Motion made by Ms. Chabelis to elect Adam Pahovich as the chair of the zoning commission, second by Mr. McNulty. Those voting, Mr. Pahovich?
Yes.
Mr. McNulty?
Yes.
Ms. Chabelis?
Yes.
And Mr. Doherty?
That's gonna have to unmute.
Oh yeah, I think he's on now.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Alrighty. And then we still do need a vice chair, which I do find the vice chair serves quite a frequent purpose just because of everybody's schedule too.
All right, Dennis, Dustin, how do you feel about being vice chair? One of you.
Well, I will say for us, unfortunately, with Dustin, this will be his last hearing this evening as he is relocating from the township. So, unfortunately, he will not be an option.
Oh, I did not know that. Thank you for informing me. Then
Yes.
Dennis, how do you feel
I
about
think that's,
it?
well, how do you feel about that, Christine?
I'm really busy right now till the end of the year.
Okay,
So just like I stepped down earlier this year and then COVID hit, I'm now trying to catch up on stuff that had to be delayed due to COVID shutdowns.
yeah, that's what I thought. That was your position before.
Exactly. So that is still my position. Hopefully, if I accomplish all this work stuff that I hope to by the end of the year, next year will be a different story. But this year, there's a lot on my plate right now.
I'm okay with vice chair if they want to nominate me. I'm fine.
You are fine? Okay. Anybody else? I guess, yeah, I can, I guess I move to nominate Dennis McNulty as vice chair of the zoning commission.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Bell to nominate Dennis McNulty as the vice chair for zoning commission, second by Mr. Bahavich. The voting, Mr. Bahavich,
Yes.
Ms. Trabellis,
Yes.
Mr. McNulty,
Yes.
and Mr. Doherty. Done. Hey, Justin, I don't know if you can hear me, but, oh,
I
sorry.
can now. Yes.
Okay, great, thank you.
I'm sorry. It's cutting in and out. And sometimes it's words. Sometimes it's like dot, 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 dot.
Okay,
I hope it's not my machine or connection. So I apologize for this.
that's okay. We just elected Dennis McNulty as the vice chair.
I heard that and it went to voting and then I vote yes.
Okay, thanks. Alrighty. Oh, Dustin just went off, but we do have a quorum, so we can at least move forward with some of the minutes. I guess he's going to try to reset, but
Then Michelle, I have a question for you as part of protocol. We have quorum and I'm assuming all three of us have to say yes and approve the minutes. Is it okay if we still approve minutes for meetings we did not attend?
that's correct. Yes, you can approve without attendance.
Okay, because generally I feel uncomfortable doing that because I do not know what was said at the meeting since I wasn't there. But if it's just for the approval of the minutes, if that is okay, then
Yes.
okay.
But yes, so we do have several minutes this evening. I did read almost all of them. So, Adam, if it's okay, I'll go on with the first set.
Yep, please.
So the first set of minutes is from April 21st of this year. This is in regards to the reserve at North Farms. I believe I had some comments on each one of these, but let me. Okay. No, I had since we were holding off on these minutes for so long, I did have Cindy Davis, our secretary, address some of the comments for these minutes. So staff does not have any comments for this set, unless I'll see if the board does.
I did not attend this meeting, so I have no comments.
Okay.
I didn't have any comments for April 21st.
I'm okay as well.
Okay. So if I can ask the board for a motion.
I motion to approve April 21st, 2020 ZON-20-01 reserve at North Farms meeting minutes.
I will second.
Motion made by Mr. Pahovich to approve zoning commission minutes from April 21st, 2020. Second by Ms. Trabellis. Those voting, Mr. Pahovich,
Yes.
Ms. Trabellis,
Yes.
Mr. McNulty,
Yes.
and Mr. Doherty. maybe.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Alrighty, so then the next set of minutes is from May 28th, 2020 regarding the zoning diagnostics review. Seems like forever ago. See if I have any comments. I don't have any comments for this one.
I did not have any comments for this one either.
I'm good.
I have none.
Alrighty.
I motion to approve the May 28th, 2020 zoning diagnostics review meeting minutes.
I second.
Okay, excellent.
Motion made by Mr. Bahavich to approve the May 28th, 2020 zoning commission minutes regarding the zoning diagnostics review. Second by Mr. McNulty. Those voting, Mr. Bahavich,
Yes.
Ms. Trabellis,
Yes,
Mr. McNulty,
Yes.
and Mr. Doherty.
Yes.
Thanks. All right, next set is from June 2nd regarding the reserve at North Farms. I didn't have any comments as this was a pretty short meeting since we tabled it.
Yep. No comments on my end either.
Good. Yep.
none.
I also wanted to point out that Todd did send me any questions, comments that he may have on the minutes, but I think we're good so far. I'm gonna pull my notes just in case. Okay.
It's up to me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, we're good. Sorry. Alrighty, so I think we're ready to move forward with
Yep.
these minutes.
Okay. I motion to approve the June 2nd, 2020 ZON 20-01 reserve at North Farms meeting minutes.
Second,
Motion made by Mr. Pahovich to approve June 2nd, 2020 minutes, zoning commission minutes regarding the reserve at North Farms. Second by Ms. Trabellis. Those voting, Mr. Pahovich,
Yes.
Ms. Trabellis,
yes,
Mr. McNulty,
Yes.
and Mr. Doherty.
Yes.
Alrighty. The next set of minutes is from June 16th. This is regarding the 23 corridor.
I was not at this meeting, so I have no comments.
Okay. I had one comment. This is in regards to the June 16th minutes. There was a question mark over on line 297, and that question mark should be Turkey Hill. So when Mr. Jewell said no one is clamoring for anything over there, the little cross section that Turkey Hill is looking at is the completing that sentence. And there was another word I caught on line 568. Instead of compares, it's complains instead. And I think those are all the comments I had. And that also touched on Todd Dove's comments too.
Yeah. Sorry, Michelle. I was going through my notes. I don't have any comments for that one.
Okay. I think we're good to go.
Okay. I recommend to approve June 16th, 2020 Route 23 corridor meeting minutes.
Second,
Adam, can your motion be that with the minutes as amended by my comments?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, as amended, as Michelle Bonnie's comments.
Thank you. And then Christine, you're still seconding that?
That is correct.
Okay. Motion made by Mr. Pahovich to approve zoning commission minutes from June 16, 2020 regarding the Route 23 corridor as amended by staff comments. Second by Ms. Trevellis. Those voting, Mr. Pahovich,
Yes.
Ms. Trevellis,
Yes.
Mr. McNulty,
Yes.
and Mr. Doherty.
Yes.
Great. Okay. The next set is from June 30th. There's two sets of minutes for June 30th. The first one is regarding Turkey Hill, and then the second set would be regarding the zoning resolution amendment. But for the Turkey Hill, I did have a couple comments. So line 13, I think there's just a typo or a word missing. I don't know if they did the truck plan, so just adding the word if between no and they. Something I noticed. And that's all I have for this first set from June 30th.
No comments on my end.
Good.
I do not have any comments either.
Okay. I motion to approve the June 30th, 2020 ZON-19-02 Turkey Hill meeting minutes as amended by staff.
I second.
Motion made by Mr. Pahovich to approve zoning commission minutes from June 30th, 2020 regarding the Turkey Hill application as amended by staff comments. Second by Ms. Trevellis. Those voting, Mr. Pahovich,
Yes.
Ms. Trevellis,
Yes.
Mr. McNulty,
Yes.
and Mr. Doherty.
Yes.
So the second set of minutes from June 30th regarding the zoning resolution amendment. It's like not letting me click this. Come on. Okay, here we go. I did not have any comments for that one. Oops, I think I might have. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me just double check. Oh, I did have one comment. So on line 100, Mr. Jewell's sentence ends in, I don't think we should be putting Orange Township in a disadvantage. And that's all the comments I have for that one.
I had one on line 181. I believe it should say the two things being added are either a fence or wall enclosure. So there should be a between either and fence. Yep,
Okay.
right there.
Come on. Alrighty.
Actually, now that I'm looking at that page, line 171, I think humongous is misspelled. I'd have
Okay.
to check it. That doesn't look right.
Okay.
So now you're making me go back and see if I have any other comments.
Anything else on that one, or still looking at them?
Still looking at it, but I don't think so.
Okay. Okay.
I'm good.
All right.
Sorry.
Oh no, that's fine. I recommend to approve June 30th, 2020 zoning resolution amendments, meeting minutes as amended.
I will second.
Motion to, and Adam, just for clerical state, for minutes, we are actually, I know you're recommending body as a whole, but for minutes, you get to just, you get to approve them. So, motion made by Mr. Pavich to approve zoning commission minutes from June 30th, 2020 regarding the zoning resolution amendments, as with amended comments stated by staff and zoning commission members. Second by Ms. Trevellis. Those voting, Mr. Pahovich,
Yes.
Ms. Trevellis,
Yes.
Mr. McNulty,
Yes.
and Mr. Doherty.
Yes.
Alrighty. So the next set is from July 7th regarding the Route 23 application. Let's see. Staff had a few comments on line 84. It should be 25.06 for both of those. That's a pretty important piece. Line 143 minute was spelled wrong. Line 244. So 80% has to be of nature. So I think the letter B was not added. And that's all I had for this. So again, this is the July 7th regarding the Route 23 application.
I did not attend that meeting, so I have no comments.
I'm good.
Yeah, no comments here either.
Right.
I recommend to approve the meeting minutes for July 7th, 2020, Route 23 corridor meeting minutes as amended by staff.
I will second.
Motion made by Mr. Pahovich to approve zoning commission minutes from July 7th, 2020 regarding the Route 23 corridor application as amended by staff comments. Second by Ms. Trevellis. Those voting, Mr. Pahovich,
Yes.
Ms. Trevellis,
Yes.
Mr. McNulty,
Yes.
and Mr. Doherty.
Yes.
Okay. The next set is from July 28th regarding the reserve at North Farm. Let's see.
I have no comments since I did not attend the meeting.
Okay. I did have a few on line 223. It has an extra I. Line 231 should be wanted, so in past tense. And that's all I have for this. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. Todd Dove had a comment on line 432. Oh, never mind. That was just a question. I addressed that, so disregard Mr. Dove's comment. So it was just staff comments for this one.
The only one I had, I think I didn't write down the line, but I think you were just right. You were just near it, Michelle. I think it was, so the 18th would be our next meeting, was the comment. Yeah, so it's 4:25. Yeah, I just had 25, so I was missing the 4. So the 18th would be the resubmission date for review.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Alrighty.
right. I recommend to approve the meeting minutes for July 28th, 2020, ZON-20-01, Reserve at North Farms meeting minutes.
I will second.
And then, okay, that was as amended by staff and the members.
As
Yep.
amended, yes, sorry.
Okay, that's okay. Motion made by Mr. Pahovich to approve the July 28, 2020 zoning commission minutes regarding the reserve at North Farms, as amended by staff and zoning commission members. Second by Ms. Trembellis. Those voting, Mr. Pahovich,
Yes.
Ms. Trembellis,
Yes.
Mr. Doherty, Mr. Doherty,
Yes.
and Mr. McNulty.
Yes.
So the next set is regarding August 4th, 2020 for the 23 corridor application. I think I had some comments. So there was a question mark on line 262, and after listening to it, the question mark should be proposed standards. And then I know Mr. Dove meant to say on line 387, we will still have a zoning sign. I think it's still, I don't think it would be Bill. I think we will have a zoning sign still on the property announcing it. So there might be another still, but just it's not the word Bill. I'll have Cindy address that. And then I saw that there was a slash mark on line 472 that needs to be removed. There was an extra S on line 491.
Thank you. I caught that as well.
Line 573. I think you meant to say not fall under, Adam.
Yes, yeah, correct. That's what I had on this one.
Okay, so that would be not fall under for line 573, but I just wanted to make sure. And then line 671, that this question marks was, and the final stage will still goes to the trustees. Line 737, buildings should be plural, I believe, when you say 2-row buildings. Line 767, the question mark, you have vinyl. I believe you said vinyl equal to fiber. So Christine, hopefully.
I think so.
I listened to the recording on that too, so it sounds like that, especially since you were talking about it earlier.
Yeah, I think it's just the discussion of making sure that your vinyl is the same quality as your fiber cement. And I think we used a bunch of words. I don't know if we want to be consistent, because I think we said we were using fiber cement as opposed to fibrous cement or cementitious material. So I would probably take a close look at all those.
Okay. Then line 808, I'm not sure what this is. It could have just been some type.
I think it just means Mr.
I see, Mr. Yep.
But giving it the French way of mesures.
Okay.
The plural for Mr.
Okay. But that's all the comments I had on that one.
Michelle, on 606, so you already got the other one of mine, but 606 I had one, and I think okay, so it says an option that after it has been reviewed, then kicked over to zoning to get a more thorough process and review.
Alrighty.
I recommend to approve the August 4th, 2020 Route 23 corridor meeting minutes as amended by staff and zoning board members.
I will second.
Motion made by Mr. Pahovich to approve zoning commission minutes from August 4th, 2020 regarding the Route 23 corridor application as amended by staff and zoning commission members. Second by Ms. Trabellis. Those voting, Mr. Pahovich,
Yes.
Ms. Trabellis,
Yes.
Mr. McNulty,
Yes.
and Mr. Doherty.
Yes.
Alrighty, we have one last set of minutes, and I'm going to be honest, I tried my best to read them all, and I did not get to this one. But I'm happy to scroll through it to see if there were any question marks. I don't know if the board feels comfortable to approve it, but this was only 6 pages. I probably could have read it, huh?
Wow.
I think we read over 100 pages. I think the minutes sometimes are harder than actual applications. So I mean, we can table this one if you would prefer me reading this more thoroughly, or if the board did review this, it's up to you. I just apologize. I did not have a chance to get to this one.
I didn't notice anything when I read through it.
I don't have a problem with that either.
And I will say we're probably going to go a different route with our minutes next year. The trustees now do journals, and they've adopted the audio recording as their official set of minutes. I've been holding off on that just because I like being able to read what's going on. So we might be practicing the journal route eventually and trying to simplify what all transpired, but so we won't have to, review 100 pages of minutes every few months, but
I have a question then. What's the difference between the journal route and having the minutes audio taped? Let's say if someone requests the minutes or someone wants to review the minutes from the hearing, how does that work?
So if somebody would want to request the, I guess, the quote unquote official set of minutes, it would be the audio recording. That's what the trustees do right now. However, the trustees do have this journal option, which kind of summarizes what transpired in each agenda item, which I would still lean towards. Again, I'm not guaranteed. I don't know if we would do that for BZA because BZA can be appealed rather than zoning commission. So I think BZA, we would probably still have a pretty detailed set of minutes, or at least get some type of recorder, or am I saying that right? Recorder, transcript. So
that still satisfies the legal requirements?
It does, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what happens if you're hearing impaired?
Well, I don't have an answer to that. I don't know.
The same thing with minutes. I don't know what happens if you're visually impaired, but usually people who are visually impaired have a program.
Right.
But not everybody who's the other way around doesn't always work.
My guess is that if there was somebody with that disability, we would probably request a transcription of the recording. We would pay for that on our own.
Okay.
So, I mean, I feel like we have to provide it some form. So
I only bring it up because I have a daughter who's hearing impaired, and
right.
in this time of COVID, she is having a lot of issues with video calls if they don't have closed captions, with any sort of video if it doesn't have closed captions. He's having problems. And we're looking for solutions, but it just depends upon the system that you're using, whether or not captions are provided.
Right. Well, I will say, before we would move forward, like officially adopting that transition, I would like to share with the zoning commission members an example journal versions of this. So, and if the board doesn't like it, then we'll continue on. I will say Cindy spends about 20 to 30 hours a week just on minutes. So I'd like to utilize her for other parts, different responsibilities with the township, but with the amount of meetings we have and how long they are, it does take some time for her. So we're just trying to think of some creative ideas. Nothing is set in stone, but when we were discussing whether or not to approve the August 25th, the audio recording is still, and I think it's still considered the official. I'll have to look at the language, but because Cindy could make a mistake, or we all could make a mistake and we wouldn't know. So that's why you would rely on the audio more than the minutes, if anything. So.
Well, back to the original topic at hand. Sorry for the aside. I have no problems with approving the August 25th minutes.
Okay.
I didn't notice anything, but again, I'm not as thorough as other people.
So is that a motion?
I was like, how does everybody else feel? I think, Dennis, you said you don't care?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, I'm good.
Yeah. Okay.
Hmm.
All right, Michelle, I recommend approval of the meeting minutes for August 25th, 2020, Route 23 corridor as amended. I think we had a couple comments there, right?
I don't.
Or no?
No.
Todd, was this the one that Todd had a comment on?
He didn't have any comments for this one, no.
Oh, okay, then no amendments. Take that out.
All right, I will second.
Okay. Motion made by Mr. Pahovich to approve zoning commission minutes from August 25th, 2020 regarding the Route 23 corridor. Second by Ms. Trabellis. Those voting, Mr. Pahovich.
Yes.
Ms. Trabellis.
Yes.
Mr. McNulty.
Yes.
And Mr. Doherty.
Yes.
Okay, great. Before we get off, I do want to, and I meant to add this on the agenda, and I apologize that I didn't, but I did want to talk to the board about, so with the 23 applications, theoretically, if it is the 23 corridor district is to be heard by the Board of Trustees this coming Monday at 6 p.m. Theoretically, if the board does approve it, it'll then be effective within 30 days of the decision. So we're looking at an mid-October effective date. With that being the case, in the interim, my staff and I are going to be working on doing a calendar for the work sessions that was outlined in the text for the zoning commission members. And I wanted to get your feel on if you guys wanted me to stick to Tuesdays, if you had a different time preference, or different day of the week, or just kind of wanted to get your feel on that. This would be a separate type of meeting aside from our regular zoning commission hearings, which we can tweak those too. So.
The only day that's out for me are typically Wednesdays. Other than that, I'm good, but Tuesdays are always good.
Yeah, Tuesdays are fine. I know we usually pick Tuesdays and Thursdays. I used to have a problem with Thursdays and Girl Scouts, but that's been moved to Friday temporarily anyway. So I'm good for Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah, I'm flexible. Those days work for me too.
So, as far as, and I'm glad everybody's flexible. And I know I try to push this every year, but is the board ever interested in doing something earlier, or do you prefer keeping it at 7? Or?
I prefer keeping it at 7 because, to be honest, I can still be at work until 6 or afterwards, and sometimes barely have time to get home to log on.
Okay.
I don't know how other people feel, but I do have another job, you know.
So I think my thoughts are is that these work sessions would be scheduled only once a month, and we'll do the rest of this year, and then we'll do a new one for 2021, and then we would also keep our regular zoning commission calendar. So I guess we could be having 3 meetings a month, but I mean, we've had more than that, so. So we'll stick to Tuesdays, and just, we can always change it. So I just wanted to get the board's feeling on that before we started drafting it. But,
are there any applications on the horizon that you know of?
For 23 or just in general?
Just in general.
So I believe Evans Farm will be submitting another amendment.
Okay. I know you had mentioned that and potentially having a informal meeting, but I wasn't sure where that stood.
I'm not sure if they want to have an informal or just move with the amendment with zoning with you guys. So I should know in the next few days, because I know they were hoping to get on the October schedule, and in order to do that, it has to be by Friday. So we will see.
Anything new is going to be in that Route 23 corridor.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so too.
So they might
Yeah.
just,
We might have like small rezonings here and there,
Mhm.
but the big projects you're right, will be along the 23 corridor.
and in which case they might wait until the 23 overlay is approved
Mhm.
and enacted. So they have the option of choosing the cloud.
Right, and we'll have to figure out how the board wants to relay their quote recommendation to the trustees, because it would be a different format.
Mhm.
So I'm almost thinking maybe doing some type of staff report with staff's comments and recommendations, and then the zoning commission members. So that'll be a working document, but we'll have to figure that out too. So
Yeah, Michelle, that's what I was thinking is, kind of what regional planning, or Delaware gives us. I think sometimes that's really helpful to see, kind of an overview, their meeting minutes, or, I mean, they're not their meeting minutes, but their kind of recommendations from their meeting is helpful, when we receive that information. So I thought it would be something similar to that.
okay, yeah, I can work off a template similar to that. That would be great.
No, Adam, I think that's a good point. I agree with you. Though their meetings are always very helpful. I always want to read those.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Excellent.
Mhm.
We will do that then. But that's all I have for the commission this evening. I just want to say thank you for reading all of these minutes. I know it takes time, and I greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Joe,
All right.
thank you.
Yep, all part of the job. So
Yeah.
Meeting adjourned, right?
Meeting adjourned.
we have to have a motion to adjourn. Can we just adjourn?
Just consensus.
Here,
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Let me hit the computer. So if you guys hear
Oh,
that.
there we go. Yeah,
Okay.
I heard it.
That was the gavel. All right.
All
All
right.
right. Have a good evening, everybody.
All
Goodbye.
right, thanks. Until
Bye-bye.
next time.
Until next
Bye.
time.
Thank you.